YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that instant analysis on the Los Angeles Lakers getting their first victory on the season against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The end score is 110 to 103. They had a really good game against the Timberwolves. They really looked good out there for the most part. They ended up losing the first quarter 23 to 22 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. But that second quarter, everything started to happen for them and they was able to really establish what they was going to do against the Timberwolves successfully, and they went 33 to 19, 32 to 27 in favor of the Minnesota Timberwolves in the third quarter, and then they also won 29 to 28 in the fourth quarter, and the Timberwolves ended up coming up short-handed tonight and get their first loss of the season, which I would say is not that much of a surprise. But when we look at this team, Julius Randle shot 5 of 10 from the field, which is good, but he was 1 of 3 from the 3 point line, took some tougher ones. He was 5 of 7 from the free throw line. He also did have 3 offensive rebounds and 9 rebounds total. He also had 4 assists, showing you that he can get off the ball when he needs to, especially if he doesn't have a quality shot. And he also showed that he can also dribble that ball a lot. And, we'll see how that fit ends up working out for this team. He also had 2 turnovers, 3 personal fouls, +2 and plus minus 16 points. So this is a decent start to the season. Like he doesn't have the same role. He's going to have to change some things up to be able to fit with what this team is trying to do. But that's the whole purpose of the regular season. Jaden McDaniels was 3 of 8 from the field, 0 of 3 from the 3 point line. He also had 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 5 personal fouls, and -8 and plus minus 6 points. He only played 16 minutes because of that foul trouble. Rudy Gobert probably was their best player tonight. 35 minutes played, 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. He had 3 offensive rebounds, 14 rebounds total, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 turnover, 4 personal fouls, -10 and plus minus, and 13 points. Not only did he get a double double, he was able to make them take some contested and tough shots, and he was also able to force them to play a certain way offensively because he was just that good in the paint. And when he was able to get out of the paint, the Lakers was able to have a little bit more success. Mike Conley was 1 of 7 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3. They're going to need him to be a catch and shoot shooter, which can come and go depending on the looks and the opportunities. And some of the shots was actually late in the shot clock too, so you can see why he would miss some of those. 3 of 3 from the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 1 personal foul, -22 and plus minus 5 points. Anthony Edwards shot 25 times a game. If you're a Timberwolves fan, you should be used to this because this is what he's going to have to do with no Towns down there. They don't really have any go-to players besides him and Julius Randle. And Julius Randle hasn't really been the most efficient guy his entire career, and neither has Anthony Edwards. But you kind of got to get him used to having the ball in his hand and being a primary decision maker for the most part, because this is how good Anthony Edwards showed last year, that he can be able to take over games and carry the team for a certain amount of time. And that's the role he's going to have to play the most because this is his team. People kept saying, is it Towns' team or Anthony Edwards' team? Well, now we know for sure it's Anthony Edwards' team, and he's going to be the primary combo guard that's going to be forced into some situations, and we're going to have to see how he's going to handle them, or how he's going to read them, and how he's going to execute them, and that's going to be the make or miss in his career. 5 of 13 from the 3 point line, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 turnovers, 3 personal fouls, 0 in plus minus, and 27 points. Nas Reed was 3 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from the 3 point line, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 3 personal foul, -6 and plus minus 12 points. Joe Ingles was 0 1 from the field. That was his only attempt. He didn't really do much after that. It was +1 and plus minus 0 points. And Dante DiVincenzo, although he can shoot, he can be very streaky and hit or miss because the 3 point shot is the toughest shot in the game. And if you can't really get that going, or you continue to settle for that shot, you can hurt your team in transition, and you can hurt your team just because they get more chances if you don't rebound. And he was 3 of 11 from the field and 2 of 8 from the 3 point line, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. He did have 3 rebounds. One of them was offensive, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover, 2 personal fouls, -5 and plus minus 10 points. And Nikhil had a great game off the bench. 5 of 7 from the field, 3 of 4 from the 3 point line, 1 of 2 from the free throw lines, 5 rebounds, 1 block, 2 turnovers, plus 13 and plus minus 14 points. We're going to see him a lot more because of the trade, and now they're going to need more scoring off that bench because Anthony Edwards looked like he was tired. He looked like he was gassed, but then again, he did play 41 minutes, so it makes a lot of sense. but he's going to have to get that up because if they really going to be dependent on him this much, he's going to have to be in the best shape ever, and he can play himself into that shape. He's just going to have to know how to take advantage of the opportunity with that. 35 to 85 when it comes from field goals attempted, field goals made, 41%, 13 of 41, 31% from three as a team, 20 out of 27 from the free throw line, that's 74%. They had 47 rebounds, 17 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 15 turnovers, 22 personal fouls. And if you look at the Lakers, Anthony Davis was absolutely dominant today from inside, getting to the paint, getting to the free throw line. He was 13 to 15 from the free throw line. They had nobody that can guard him, nobody that can stay in front of him, and he was able to use that finesse touch to punish him too. And he did make 1 of 3 from the 3 point line. He was 11 of 23 from the field. He also had 3 offensive rebounds and 16 rebounds total, 4 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul, plus 1 in plus minus 36 points. Rui Hachimura had that mid-range jump shot going, and he also did make 1 3, but he was 1 of 4, and he was 3 of 4 from the free throw line. He was 7 of 14 from the field, which is really good to see. 5 rebounds, 3 of them was offensive, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 block, 2 personal fouls, plus 19 and plus minus 18 points. And Raymond James, 7 of 16 from the field, 1 of 4 from the 3 point line, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers, 3 personal fouls, -6 and plus minus 16 points. They didn't need him to do as much scoring wise because everybody was able to chip in something. D'Angelo Russell was 1 of 7 from three, which is really bad, but he was 4 of 12 from the field. He did have 5 assists, 1 rebound, 2 steals, 1 turnover, 2 personal fouls, plus 15 plus minus 9 points. Austin Reeves was getting his assist game going, 4 assists. He also had 4 offensive rebounds and 9 rebounds total in those 36 minutes. He also was 6 of 14 from the field, 0 of 5 from three, 0 of 1 from the free throw line. Um, yeah, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 personal fouls, plus 12 plus minus 12 points. Jackson Hayes, 4 of 5 from the field, 4 rebounds, 1 block, 3 personal fouls, -1 and plus minus 10 points. Gabe Vincent, 1 of 2 from the field, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 personal foul, -2 and plus minus 2 points. Max Christie, 0 of 3 from the field, 0 of 3 from the 3 point line, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 5 personal fouls, -5 plus minus 2 points. Bronny James was 0 of 2 from the field, 0 of 1 from three, 1 rebound, -5 and plus minus 0 points. Um, Dalton Connect was 2 of 4 from the field. He connected on 1 3 and ended up being 1 of 3 from the 3 point line, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul, plus 7 and plus minus 5 points. He only played 16 minutes tonight. There was 42 of 95 from the field. That's 44%. 5 of 30 from the 3 point line. That's 16%, which is really bad. 21 of 25 from the free throw line. That's 84%. 46 rebounds, 22 assists, 7 steals, 8 blocks, 7 turnovers, 23 personal fouls, and 110 points, which was enough to get the win tonight. And it was just fun watching this game and seeing the teams go back and forth. But I will say, after that second quarter, the Lakers didn't really have to try or do too much as the Timberwolves basically was playing discombobulated. They didn't know what to do, who to pass it to, who is going to be the guy that's going to have the ball and get guys into their sets. This was really just a bad look for the Timberwolves. They just looked so confused. They looked out of whack, and they just didn't know what their identity was offensively or defensively for the most part outside of Gobert. And it was really just unfortunate to just see how bad the Timberwolves looked tonight, and they offense just looked just junky. Is they didn't really have anything they can go to or rely on besides Anthony Edwards trying to go shoot a three every time that he can. And if he couldn't shoot the three, he really didn't want to drive to the paint. He really didn't want to get no contact. He didn't really want to shoot the mid range either for the most part. It's kind of like he just wanted to hoist threes the whole game. And if they double teamed him or trapped him or forced him to pass the ball, he didn't really trust his teammates enough. And then when he started doing it, the team started getting a little bit more confident, started playing more well. But by then, the Lakers already had the lead. They didn't really have to do much to win the game at that point because they couldn't stop AD, and AD used his skills to his full advantage and was able to help them climb the top of that mountain and stay up there for the whole game. And that was the deciding factor was they couldn't stop AD. And I know the Timberwolves had some good scoring on their team too. But when you get that deep in and you're not really playing great defense, you're not really playing great offense, and you can't build no type of consistency, you can end up losing games that easily, because that's just how the game is played and that's how the game goes. And if you can't make a real run to be able to get it down to 3 or 2, you are already going to be in a tough position, especially when it comes to the fourth quarter when they still have LeBron getting full amount of rest. And then he comes back in to close out the game with the pull up three, and that was pretty much game over and the dagger in the coffin. And the Wolves, I just don't know where they go from here. And I was one of the people that say, well, honestly, I think the Timberwolves' chances of being a contender is closing because I don't really see them keeping Julius Randle. I don't really see them keeping Rudy Gobert because these guys are so much older than Anthony Edwards, including Mike Conley. And these are the best players they have around him. And if you go all in with Towns, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, and you fell a little short, and you had one more year to try to win with that roster, and you feel like you couldn't get it done, who could you really get that really wants to play with Anthony Edwards and want to be playing with them long term, that's better than Towns. There's not too many bigs that you can get that can do the things that Towns can do, and you still had Gobert too. Now we know that Gobert and Anthony Edwards fit together real well, and Nas Reed and Gobert fit together real well. But then you losing Julius Randle. If you can't make him come off the bench like Nas Reed or switch it in the future and put some more players on this bench, is that enough to be a championship team? Is that enough to win? When Anthony Edwards lived more like an all-star and not a superstar right now in his career. But you got to grow, you got to develop, you got to learn things, you got to learn from your mistakes, and you got to get to a point where you're a better player. And that's what I feel this season is going to be for Anthony Edwards, a trial and error season. Let me see what works and what doesn't work, and we can figure out the rest down the line. If they're not going with that approach, then this team is done. Anthony Edwards is not good enough to single handedly win you games. He needs help. He needs support, just like every other All Star and superstar in his league. And Gobert, that's not enough. Mike Conley, that's not enough. And a lot of people do have the Timberwolves top four. Top four can also mean pretender. We really feel like these teams are the best of the best. This team is a wait and see. Wait and see means you got other moves you can make that can get you back in that conversation. But if they're not really trying to pay that tax and they're not really trying to pay that apron and they're not really trying to make a move that puts them in that position to be better, what is they really going to do with Anthony Edwards? And I do feel like he wants to be a Wolves forever. That's what they always say. But we know Towns was feeling the same way. He got traded out of nowhere. And I feel like that's probably the best roster they could build around Anthony Edwards, a guy that's still indecisive a little bit offensively and still trying to learn how to pass and how to score at the same time and also be a better ball handler and a better decision maker. And these are tough things to do when you're getting it forced upon and you just don't have the requisite talent to be able to win anyway. And now it just looks a little silly watching him try to go for a three as much as he can because he really don't want to go to the paint and get double teamed and trapped or get reached and grabbed and blocked. And it's just embarrassing at that point. But he has to do something. You know, shooting 25 shots a game is going to be the normal for a guy like Anthony Edwards. He's going to be in this Kobe mode. He's going to be in this Jordan mode. And these are people that he compared him to, Vince Carter mode. But those guys didn't really have much success, early on. And I think that he had some success because he was playing on Towns' team, and that was enough to attract Gobert to want to go down there and play too. And now you stripped you of that, and now Gobert is going to be 10 years older. And I don't really see that being a long lasting relationship. And Gobert is going to want to play for a contender, the next team, especially if he's going to take a pay cut. And the Wolves are not going to be that. But this team is very interesting. They're a must watch team. They're a team that you got to focus on a lot because Anthony Edwards is that good and he's just that fun to watch. And it really is fun to see him play basketball, but it is also a situation that's really ugly when it comes to the future of how this team might look. In the Lakers, they still got enough talent. They got more shooting. They got more ball handlers. They got more people that can score. They still got LeBron. They still got AD. That makes them dangerous. Anytime they're on the court together, and anytime they in the fourth quarter together, anything can happen, especially defensively. And I feel like the Lakers been constructing this dual handle type of offense with guys that can break down the defense or handle the ball or find open cutters and shooters. And they try and take full advantage of the whole court. And I think that that's the right idea to go with. And I think JJ Redick really opened that up a lot in his first game and during preseason. And I like what I've been seeing. And they're not relying on LeBron a lot. And that's the purpose of a person like Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell. We can pass, we can score, we can rotate, we can move off the ball, we can still provide scoring and shooting. And these guys are also great transition players. And Dalton Connect gives them a guy that can handle the ball a little bit and get his own shot while also being a threat from the 3 point line too. So he can play with and without LeBron also. Even if he does play a little bit more without LeBron, he's already known as a good scorer and a guy that can really get hot. And that's all you really need him to do until the starters get back in or sprinkle him in with a little bit of the bench rotation. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you like videos just like this, I make videos just like this all the time. And I also make breakdowns and tributes. So make sure you check out the other videos that I have on my channel that you might like or you might have missed because you're new to the channel. But if you've also been a part of the channel for a while, just remember I make videos each and every day throughout the day, and you might miss something that you probably wanted to see, but it happens, but you can still check it out later. And that's all I'm trying to give you guys as a reminder. Other than that, see you guys tomorrow.